Welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Jess. I am a 4th grade teacher in Southern California. I hope your 2022 is off to as good of a start as possible considering all of the circumstances. I recently finished taking a course with advancement courses on strategies for addressing student anxiety. I know I'm not the only one seeing that this year, obviously. Our students are coming to school with a lot more anxiety than I personally have ever seen in the past. My students are really struggling with social anxiety and perfectionism and feeling like they're behind. So it was really important to me to find strategies that I could use to help my students feel more acclimated back into the classroom and get acquainted to in-person learning and each other. And so those are the things I want to share with you today. I want to tell you a little bit about the format of the course before I tell you about the strategies, because I was obsessed. If you follow me on Instagram, then you probably have seen me share about ADHD, which I have. I need to be able to do it on my schedule. And so what I really love about this course is that you have 6 months to take it from the time that you start it, and you can complete it completely at your own pace. There's 5 modules, and each module has a ton of resources. A lot of them have links to actual lesson plans and games and things that you can actually just print out and use immediately, which I love. There's also a discussion board post for each section. They give you a scenario of a student who's struggling with anxiety, and you're responding to certain things that you've just learned about in that module. Or you can go and comment on other people's posts instead of having to make your own, and I really liked the option of doing that. And there are also checkpoints for each module that you have to kind of prove that you've learned what is in that module. But the thing I really liked is that there's a final project at the end, and each checkpoint builds on itself so that it's helping you make your final project. So by the time you've gone through the whole course, at the end, instead of having to then scramble and try to put together a project, you've already done the project pretty much in your checkpoint, and you're just kind of compiling it into some kind of artifact that you can share. Another thing that I really liked is that on the discussion board part, you're actually learning from people who are also in the classroom. So for example, one of the posts that I commented on was talking about books to use for anxiety and gave me a ton of different books. All of these are linked in my Amazon storefront that I will put in the description box, along with like 50 other SEL picture books for kids. So if you are looking to get some for your classroom, I got you. These ones are some of my kids' favorites. Oh my goodness. We've been working on theme, and so I was thinking, how could I tie in the picture books to something that we're working on academically? So after we read one of the books, I haven't printed out the pictures in a while, but you get the idea. We decide what the theme is, and the ones that we are focusing on right now are collaboration, self-confidence, accepting differences, bravery and courage, compassion, and coping with big emotions. This is my first year teaching 4th grade, and I've noticed a very heightened sense of awareness of their peers' opinions of them. Creating a space for them to go when they're feeling overwhelmed or frustrated or whatever is really important to me. Here's a view of my classroom if you've never seen it. So over here behind the library, I have these big privacy chairs. I had already created this in my classroom prior to taking the course, except I didn't have these bottom posters on there. I only had the top ones about feelings, and I wasn't really sure what else I wanted to put here to make it meaningful for kids. And I also didn't want to have too many things here where it would be overwhelming for them to try to find tools to use. So what I did is I created these 5 posters, hold it up to the QR code, see how that little thing pops up, takes them to a slide where there are videos that they can just listen to on their iPad that will help them calm down. The relaxing visuals one, same kind of deal, things that they can look at. They're not just pictures, they are videos of like a beach, falling snow, a kaleidoscope, things like that. Mindfulness practice has kids' meditations on there, different kind of breathing exercises, calming bubbles, relaxing videos, things of that nature. The Get Creative one. This one has things like digital coloring pages, an online kaleidoscope, a digital sketchboard, jigsaw puzzles, origami, things like that that they can do on their iPad. And then the move your body one. So this one has different videos for movement, like yoga for kids or Go Noodle videos, things like that. Cosmic Kids Yoga, if you guys haven't seen them, they're on YouTube. It is this woman, and she has the cutest accent, by the way. She like really gets into character. So say they're doing like a Minecraft yoga, then she like transports herself into like the Minecraft world, and she just gets super into it, and the kids really, really like it. Okay, here's a My Little Pony one.
Bend into our front knee and take our arms nice and wide. Now we use our arms like wings, like they're the beautiful wings of a Pegasus pony. Very good, everyone.
She's just so easy to listen to. Like when we do these, I do them with them, and I love them even as an adult. So highly recommend this. If you wanted to practice this just as a whole class, you could go to Go Noodle. You can either search by channel if you already know which channel you like, or there's categories, and there's a whole SEL and mindfulness category. We did a managed stress video the other day, and I let them pick which one they want to do. I didn't think that they would like all of the breathing exercises ones, but they really do. And honestly, I've noticed since I've started it last year, I've had students that ask me if we can do breathing exercises, even if we're not in a brain break mode. If we're getting frustrated or if they feel frustrated or whatever, they'll raise their hand and ask, hey, can we do a breathing exercise together? And then we do it. And it's amazing. One other thing I've been trying to do to help my students with their social anxiety is something called morning choice. This is something that I always wanted to try but never really felt like I could, fit it in. And now I'm realizing it is such an important, meaningful part of our day that I will never not do this. So basically what it is, in the morning every day we have 15 minutes where they get to basically have free choice play. They just cannot play on any tech. So they can't go on like their phone or the iPad or anything like that. They have to be doing something hands-on. So I have all kinds of games. I'll show you guys what we have. Scrabble, these little puzzle connect pieces, Legos, a puzzle, brain flakes, got 2 chess games, Connect 4, more brain flakes, checkers, which they did not do a good job of putting away, plus blocks. Okay, don't judge me for these drawers. They're totally falling apart and disgusting, but you know what? It's what we have right now, so oh well. Anything that's little and can fit in the drawers does, so Uno, we've got some coloring books. Oh, these are fun. They really, really love these. In fact, one of my students made me a little jewelry box this morning. Rubik's Cubes, which my students are very good at. A couple decks of cards. Stencils. Sudoku. Word search. That's just a wrap for the puzzle if they want to do a puzzle but don't want to have to put it away. They can wrap it up so they can save it for the next day. Same thing there, and that drawer doesn't open. I truly, truly feel like that morning choice time has been so beneficial for my students. Not only does it give them a chance to kind of ease into the day and lessen that anxiety about coming to school, especially after having been gone so long with distance learning. It's awesome for me because I get a chance to check in their homework in the morning, check in with kids who might have needed help on their homework. Sometimes I do small groups in the morning for that 15 minutes if I just need to check in with a couple kids on maybe a math concept that they were struggling with the day before or whatever. And then the rest of the time, I just sit and play with my kids. And it's awesome. I thought it would be helpful to share with you guys my final project for the class. The project's going to be linked in the description of this video, so feel free to have a look at it. It's view only, but you can click on anything that you want. Feel free to make a copy. You can add to it, share it with whoever. I do not care. It is yours to do with what you would like. I picked the 5 types of student anxiety that I'm noticing the most in my classroom. Tier 1 are strategies that you can use in a whole group setting that will benefit all of your students, but they'll also benefit your students who are at a tier 2 or tier 3 level. Grounding techniques help us to stay in the present moment, and they're really, it's kind of exactly what it sounds like grounding yourself to the earth. So like when I do grounding for myself, I go to the beach, I take off my shoes, I put my toes in the sand or on grass and just kind of like reconnect my body to the physical world, because when you're feeling anxiety, you're getting out of your physical body and into your head. So the things that you can do are breathe deeply from your core, trace your hand with one finger. So I teach my students, start here and then go up. And as you go up the finger, you take a deep breath in. Down the finger, you take a breath out. How do people talk when they take deep breaths? I don't know. Relaxation techniques are good things to teach students as well. Things like breath focus, body scan, guided imagery, mindfulness meditation, things we've talked about like yoga. Basically, positive self-talk is teaching students about affirmations and helping them to gain self-confidence. So in my classroom, we have an affirmation station over here, and my students actually use it very frequently. It's just a mirror from the Target dollar spot. I hung it up with command strips, and I will link down below the place on TPT where I got the actual little I am hearts, and then the affirmation station thing I cut out with my Cameo. So we have this in the classroom that they can use anytime. And then I also have an app on my phone. It's actually called I Am. I'll just tell you here. You can send notifications to your phone. I have it set for every hour. So every hour I just get a little text that pops up. I open it. It gives me a positive affirmation. I can decide different settings. Let me just go get my phone and I'll show you. I kid you not. I just came to pick up my phone to show you this, and look what I have a notification from. What I really love about these is that you can change the theme. So for example, right now I have it on positive thinking, but there's all different ones. I can press heart if I want to heart it and use those as my favorites, or I can just let it give me random ones. Anytime I get the text that pops up, my kids know the little sound. It's like doo-doo, and they go, oh, it's affirmation time. And then we'll do our affirmation. So I have them say it 3 times. The first time they whisper it, the second time they say it out loud, and the third time they shout it. And not shouting, we do indoor shouting, so it's not super loud, but I found that it really helps with student confidence and just building those positive relationships with ourselves. So here are some examples of some affirmations you can use with kids if you don't want to get the app or if you don't have it. Here's some more picture books. Just for the sake of time, I'm not going to click on them and open them all, but once again, this whole document is going to be in the description of the video, so if you're interested in learning more about those books, feel free to click on it. You can have students do a gratitude journal. Another thing that you can do is have students color mandalas, concentric circles that grow outwardly, promote relaxation and harmony, and are just super anxiety reducing for students. And there are free mandalas on each of these links that you can download and print. One of the required readings for the class was a book called Playing with Anxiety, and it would be a great read aloud to do maybe 1 chapter a week during morning meeting and then discussing it. I linked it on here. It is also free if you want to download it. And then on the next slides, I have resources that you can actually share with parents. My YouTube is not loading right now because my hotspot's not working. But on this slide, you're going to find a video that will help you breach the topic of anxiety with parents. You can actually just show it right to them. On this slide, I linked a ton of different resources that you can use with parents. Calm down ideas, things to say when kids cry, the do's and don'ts of separation anxiety. The next slides are more for your Tier 2 and Tier 3 students. These are going to be helpful for students who are already showing symptoms of anxiety, or if they're in situations, for example, maybe a death of a parent, divorce, things like that, that you know may cause those kind of feelings, you can keep an eye on them as well. So something a lot of my students struggle with is perfectionism. So something that we really need to focus on with students who are concerned with perfectionism is showing them that it is okay to accept good enough on some things. You can't do everything flawlessly, and if you try to do everything flawlessly, you're going to fall behind on things. It's better to have things done okay than not done at all because you wanted it to be perfect. One thing I've noticed with parents too is when their students are doing really well, they constantly are continuing to push them to learn more, do better, perform better, excel, challenge yourself. If a student's excelling, it's okay to praise them and encourage them and allow them to just bask in that feeling of being successful as a reward. They don't always have to continue to being pushed. That's how we create people who are never satisfied with anything that they do, and nothing they do is good enough for themselves. If we want children to grow up to have good self-care practices, then we need to teach them that as kids and know that do your best, and when you do well, we're going to celebrate you, and then you have time to rest and relax or do hobbies or have fun and enjoy your life, just like we'd want them to do as adults. Teach students to work on a task for a certain period of time, give it your best effort for that period of time, and then walk away from it. And then if you're going to go back to that task, only edit it for 1/4 of the time you spent working on it, and then let that be good enough. Whatever you got done is enough, and move on. This slide has a ton of different links for strategies for social anxiety. A lot of these are links that you can click on and download lessons that you can use literally that same day. Public speaking is also another one of those forms of anxiety that I think every teacher has experience with, because all of our students, even our most confident students, still get nervous going in front of the class. Gradual exposure would be something like, instead of having a student have to do a presentation in front of the whole class, they could maybe do it in front of just a group of maybe 3 students, or you could set up a Flipgrid online and they could just go on and record their presentation. So still students are watching and they're still sharing their information, but they don't have to do the part where they're standing up in front of the class and everyone's staring at them. Teaching students breathing exercises is important, because if you can control your breath, you can control your voice. So doing those as brain breaks or before tests or before attempting a difficult task, such as public speaking, would help to soothe those anxious nerves. Again, Go Noodle has tons of those breathing exercises. One thing you can do for students who have writer's block is you can create a personal resource list for them that maybe includes sentence frames, transition phrases, structure format, list of adjectives, whatever you're working on. And you don't even have to create something on paper. You can make it something as simple as a Google Doc that maybe they have access to on their iPad, or maybe you even just have it for all students and it's linked at the top of your Google Classroom. They can access it whenever, instead of having them try to attempt a 5-paragraph essay starting with maybe just the introduction, or even if that's a struggle, starting with just the lead, but really breaking it down. And I know as elementary teachers, we already do this because we have to, but even trying to think about, okay, is this broken down enough for what this student needs? And giving them just manageable pieces at one time is super, super helpful. Letting students free write before they have to actually write helps them get out all of that jumble in their head. So giving them a warm up before they have to do a writing task would be helpful. Clustering is also something that I learned about that I had never heard of before. It's kind of like a pre-writing brain mapping exercise so that students can explore the relationship between ideas. And it helps them to kind of categorize the things that they're thinking about. Instead of having to form actual sentences and start their writing, they're just gathering ideas in a way that is easy for them to organize. Definitely take a look down below. I know there was a lot of links in there that we didn't get to click on today, but I thought it would be good for you guys to be able to explore them on your own. If you have other strategies or resources or anything that you would like to share, definitely leave a comment down below so that we can all continue to learn from each other in this community. And I would like to give a huge shout out to Advancement Courses, because they genuinely have created amazing courses for teachers. I love that the things that we learn in there we can take and implement immediately. They're actually relatable to what we're doing in the classroom and are not just checking off boxes to jump through a hoop. They're actually things that we can take and use. To all the teachers out there, I know this year has been so hard, and not just this year, the past 3 school years now. Whatever you are doing right now is enough. I'm proud of you. We're getting through this. Hang in there. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your year. I hope your loved ones are safe and well, and I will see you guys soon for another video. Bye!